Skin the Hardaway Southern T. Back with another EP. Glad y'all could make it this morning. Let me holler at the people already in the building. Because, some people beat me here. I started this early. I pushed it back. So let me say what's up to the people that's in the building. Shout out my guy, Terry Connie. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Terry. He said, let's go, T. Appreciate you, Terry. Shout out my guy, Lewis McCallum. He said, like button hit. Not everybody do the same. Shout out my guy, Lewis McCallum. Glad you could make it. Shout out my guy, Freddie Jimenez. Says, good morning, everyone. Hit the like button as they walk through the door. I think he meant to drop that on for none page. Shout out my guy, Tony Bell. Appreciate you sliding through. Tony said, oh, shit. Shout out my guy, Ben Hamilton. Sliding through this joint. Glad you could make it. What's good? My guy, Avery here. What's good, Avery? Been a minute, fam. Shout out my guy, Avery. Corey Sanders, King. What's good, OG? He said, Lubin wins. Stay blessed, Young King. Appreciate that. My guy, Yoda Wise, was good. He said, Lubin by stoppage. Okay. Phil Barry said, salute. Southern T Boxing was good, Phil. Appreciate you sliding through. Lonzo Thacker said, dropping out my live morning team chat. Was good, Lonzo. Appreciate you sliding through. Ben Hamilton, what's good, King? I'm here now, Ben. What's good, Ben? Shout out my guy, Baby Quan. Glad you could make it. Appreciate you sliding through this, young Baby Quan. Tay D, what's good? My guy, Tay D. Appreciate you sliding through this, young King. Glad you could make it. Shout out my guy, Just Do Boxing. Appreciate you sliding through this, young Just Do. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit the like button on the way in. Did y'all get any ads when y'all came through this junk? Did like straight in? Did you get some ads? Appreciate y'all sliding through this junk. Y'all hit that like button on the way in. If you haven't already, stop right now. Go out, hit the like button, come back in. I need everybody in here who ain't hit the like button to stop. Go out, hit the like button, and then come back in. We about to get into it, though. Shout out my guy, Judah Ben. What's good? Now that I said what's up to everybody. Shout out my guy, Judah Ben. What's good? Nah, I say what's up to everybody. We can get it going. Oh, yeah, Lubin by first degree. Judah Ben. Yoda said y'all need to stop it about Lubin's chin. The man only been on the canvas once. And Fundora not cracking like that. After that, I really didn't start in the comments. We about to get going. I'm gonna bring my camera up and say. We about to get it going. Let me bring my. Appreciate y'all sliding through this. I'm eating right now. I'm snacking. Right now, I don't want to snack in y'all face, so I'm going to bring it back up when I finish snacking. But hell yeah. We got the fight breakdown and prediction between Erickson Lubin and Sebastian Fundora. You know what I mean? Sebastian Fundora, 18-0-1, 12 knockouts, 24 years old, 6'5" with the 80-inch arm reach. He got wins over Sergio Garcia, Nathaniel Gallimore, and he got a split draw against Jamonte Clark. We got Sebastian Fundora facing off against Erickson Lubin. Erickson Lubin is 24-1-0, 17 KOs, 26 years of age, 5'9", with the 74 arm reach. He got wins over Jay Henson Rosario, Terrell Goucher, who just fought Tim Tszyu last week, Nathaniel Gallimore, common opponent between the two, and Issei Smith. He also has one loss, but his one loss is to the current unified champion in the division at the 154 division, which is Jermell Charlo. So, he got one loss, but this is against Charlo, and there ain't nothing to hold your head about. And it was when he was 19, 20 years old. He's now 26. So, no, that wasn't in recent time. This, I think this is a great fight to officially kick off, April. I think this is a great fight to really officially kick off, boxing. We getting into the thick of things now. You know what I mean? Play time is out the way. We about to hit that fall, summer schedule. You know what I mean? We about to start getting these big fights rolling. I think this is the perfect, beginner fight. I think it's the perfect teaser fight, the perfect fight to really bring in the year the right way. You know what I mean? We got two great, at one point in time, these guys were seen as great up-and-coming prospects. You know what I mean? Extremely high ceilings. Still have extremely high ceilings. I think this fight right here is about to determine which one of these guys is going to be next in line for the 154, pound title. Possibly maybe a Tim Tszyu fight. You know what I mean? Tim Tszyu is the WBO mandatory. You got these guys fighting for what I think is the WBA mandatory or the WBC mandatory spot. Lubin and Fundora are ranked top in a division. You got Charlo, you got Lubin, Fundora, you got Tim Tszyu, and you got can't think of the last guy right now, but these are all top 5 fighters in the 154-pound division right now that I'm talking about. Erickson Lubin is ranked number 1. I think Fundora ranked number 2. So this fight has huge emphasis on what happens at the 154-pound division. I'm gonna start with Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora is coming off. Sebastian Fundora is coming off a fight with Sergio Garcia, which I thought was extremely interesting. I'm gonna get to y'all comments in a second. I thought it was extremely interesting. Sebastian Fundora's last fight against Sergio Garcia. It reminded me a lot of one of his previous fights. He had a fight against Jamonte Clark, and which was a split draw. And I thought it was interesting. I thought Jamonte Clark, slightly edged that fight. But to give him a split draw, I can't call robbery because they only had to fight one round off from what I did. And one judge actually think that he won also. You know what I mean? So I won't call Jamonte Clark versus Sebastian Fundora a robbery, but I think it's an interesting fight, to watch if you one of those guys who haven't seen a lot of Fundora or, who's only heard, the knockout stories, of Fundora. His last fight was against Sergio Garcia, but it reminded me a lot of his fight against Jamonte Clark. You know what I mean? Which was a tight fight. You know what I mean? Back and forth with fair. We saw Fundora coming out, with the win. Fundora is seen as a knockout puncher. He's seen as a KO puncher. He's seen as a fearful guy. I got you knockout. We get into a knockout. Shout out my guy, Knockout Boxing TV. The guru, my guru brother. If Knockout Boxing is the group, if Knockout Boxing is the guru of this fight prediction shit because he was here first, then I'm Guru Jr. I'm trying to tell you. I go to this guy. I watch every prediction that this guy dropped. This guy right here, know it's boxing. You know what I mean? We about to get into a knockout. I'm bringing the predictions back, knockout. We about to get into it. What's good, H. High Young? Yo, the Crush. I see y'all going in here, Tay D and Crush. I see y'all going in here, Tay D, my guy, Tay D, my guy, yo, the Crush. I see y'all going in. I might drop the link and let y'all come in and speak y'all shit a little bit if y'all want to. Type it at the end of this. But shout out my guy, Knockout Boxing TV. We getting into it, man. Shout out my guy, H. High Young. Appreciate you sliding through this, John H. High Young. Glad you can make it. But yeah, I think two fights. If you really want to, look at some Sebastian Fundora fights going into this fight with Erickson Lubin, I say look at Sergio Garcia, his last fight, and look at Jamonte Clark. You know what I mean? I know first out, a lot of people think, Fundora, go do away with Lubin. You know what I mean? But I think if you really look into this, you really look deep into it, it's going to be a closer fight than people predict. You know what I mean? Erickson Lubin, his last fight was against Jay Henson Rosario. He got a stoppage win over Jay Henson Rosario. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because Jay Henson Rosario was the unified champion of the 154-pound division, the light middleweight division, until he lost to the same guy that Erickson Lubin lost to, Jermell Charlo, and he lost his belts. So Erickson Lubin is coming off a stoppage of Jay Henson Rosario. He beat Terrell Goucher in the fight before that by unanimous decision. Goucher, who just fought Tim Tszyu a week ago, Terrell Goucher. Nathaniel Gallimore is a common opponent that Fundora and Erickson Lubin have in common. They both stopped Nathaniel Gallimore. Nathaniel Gallimore seemed like a journeyman gatekeeper kind of guy. He's a guy you fight to see if you ready, to take that next step, or if you're ready to be taken serious in the 154-pound division. You fight Nathaniel Gallimore. He also has wins over Ishe Smith. I'm getting into the breakdown. I'm getting into the prediction stage of this, the breakdown stage of this. I think this fight between Sebastian Fundora and Erickson Lubin is a highly interesting one. You got the first thing that jumped out at me, right? You got Sebastian Fundora being 6'5" with an 80-inch arm reach. I think that's going to be a problem, for anybody. It is a problem for anybody. For Erickson Lubin is 5'9" with a 74-inch arm reach. Erickson Lubin arms are a little longer than I thought he was. Still, he's at a 6-inch arm reach disadvantage in this fight with Sebastian Fundora. But I just told you guys, if you're interested in the fight, go watch Sergio Garcia and Jamonte Clark. Sergio Garcia is the same height as Erickson Lubin, you know what I mean? And he gave Sebastian Fundora fits. He gave Sebastian Fundora, all he could handle in a fight where I know who Sergio Garcia is. Sergio Garcia was also a guy who hadn't had many, tough fights. It's a name that I know, but he hadn't had many tough fights into where that I thought Sergio Garcia was challenging himself. So Fundora and Garcia were both having their first fights where I thought either of them was facing any type of significant challenge to where, I thought that they might not be able to pull out a win. You know what I mean? And I watched that Fundora fight versus Sergio Garcia, and Sergio Garcia did a lot better than I thought he was. And I thought that was cause for a pause. I thought that was alarming, especially with him having to fight Erickson Lubin next, because if you got to fight against Erickson Lubin, I expect you, I would expect you to put a guy like Sergio Garcia, out of there, much smaller guy, a guy who's not seen to be on your level. Now you got a guy with Erickson Lubin who is seen to be on your level. Some people had a question about Erickson Lubin's chin, if he could hold up, blase, whatnot. Erickson Lubin has only been, dropped in his career twice. He's only been, stopped once. He got dropped early in his career, you know what I mean? And he got stopped against Jermell Charlo in a position where I think he came out in that fight cold. But he has been stopped once before, and he's only been stopped by the champion of the division. You know what I mean? Now, to his credit, that was like 6 or 7 years ago. He was like 19, 20 years old at that point, up-and-coming prospect. Got in there with Jermell Charlo, who I think maybe was a little too early. And, what happened, the rest is history. That's what took Jermell Charlo off into where he's at now. That win over Erickson Lubin is what counterpunted him. Now this is an interesting fight to me because we got Sebastian Fundora, who's here. He has a lot of questions to answer. You know what I mean? Are you really this monster that you have been built up against? Are you really that next thing up? Or are you just what some people call you, a freak show, a gimmick? I don't think you're a gimmick or a freak show, you know what I mean? But are you what some people call you, a freak show, a gimmick? Or, are you really a player in this 154-pound division? Ironically and interestingly enough, Erickson Lubin also is in the spot where he got a lot of questions to answer. Erickson Lubin is in that re-emerging spot. He's in that spot where he's been to, like the mountaintop with the Jermell Charlo fight. We seen what happened with Jermell Charlo since then. He's been pushed to stardom. I think whoever won that fight between Lubin and Jermell Charlo were going to be pushed to stardom, and Jermell Charlo was the one ended up winning the fight. So Erickson Lubin is also in the interesting spot to get back, what he once had. There was a time where people saw Erickson Lubin as one of the most dangerous one of the most dangerous men on the planet. You know what I mean? When he was coming up, when he was doing his thing as that prospect, you know what I mean? I still think Erickson Lubin is one of the most, dangerous men on the planet. I still think he's one of the most dangerous men on the planet. You know what I mean? I think the Jermell Charlo thing, and I'm getting to my prediction portion. I think that Jermell Charlo thing was a one-off. You know what I mean? I think it was a one-off when it came to Jermell Charlo because, like my guy Crush said, he hasn't necessarily been stopped since then. He's been rocked by, some pretty decent punchers. Terrell Goucher, rocked him a little bit early in that fight. We just saw Terrell Goucher drop Tim Tszyu, for comparison. He rocked Erickson Lubin. Erickson Lubin recovered, and he outboxed him for the rest of the fight. He dropped Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu got up and, he outboxed him for the rest of the fight, right? Erickson Lubin also was stunned in the Jay Henson Rosario fight. You know what I mean? Stunned, not dropped. But after Erickson Lubin, got stunned, he came back and he ended up stopping Jay Henson Rosario. You know what I mean? Beautiful knockout too, if I could add myself. So Erickson Lubin is one of those guys who has, quote unquote, chin questions. I think the chin thing is a little overrated, me personally. I think the chin thing is a little overrated, me personally. The thing about Erickson Lubin, I say this: if you hit Erickson Lubin clean, and let's just say you stun him, let's just say you hurt him a little bit, but if you let Erickson Lubin recover, if Erickson Lubin realizes that he is able to take your punch, if your punch can't put Erickson Lubin out, you know what I mean? I just saw Sebastian Fundora fight Sergio Garcia. I saw him fight Jamonte Clark. He didn't knock either. He didn't knock either, of those guys out. I know Fundora does have power. He does have stopping ability, but if you watch his last fight against Sergio Garcia, he didn't stop Sergio Garcia. You know what I mean? He didn't stop Jamonte Clark. You know what I mean? The guy that beat Jamonte Clark knocked him out. Erickson Lubin beat him. You know what I mean? We about to talk about it for a second, y'all, because I'm glad y'all folks came through. We about to talk about it. I see y'all in the comments. We about to talk about it. Erickson Lubin beat him. You know what I mean? So if Sebastian Fundora can't, hurt Erickson Lubin, if he can't stop Erickson Lubin, and let's say he does hurt Erickson Lubin, but he gives Erickson Lubin a chance to recover, he gives Erickson Lubin a chance to settle in, I think the best chance that Fundora has is to catch Erickson Lubin early, maybe before he get going, kind of like Jermell Charlo did. I think that's his best chance. But if I had to put my money up, if I had to bet on it, and I'm getting to my prediction point, I'm going to actually tell you the odds. I'm going to tell you the odds. I'm going to tell you who's the favorite and who's not, because I actually am betting on it. This is going to be an interesting fight, y'all. Now, in my mind, I'm taking Erickson Lubin. I got Erickson Lubin winning by unanimous decision. I don't see Fundora being able to stop Erickson Lubin. Maybe he may hurt him. Maybe he may buzz him. Maybe he may even drop him. But I don't see him being able to put Erickson Lubin out. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily see him being able to put Erickson Lubin out. I got Erickson Lubin winning this by unanimous decision. But I think either guy has the ability to be able to stop the other guy. You know what I mean? Yep, it's even. It's even knockout. It's even knockout. I think both guys has the ability to stop either guy. You know what I mean? But I don't think that either guy will be stopped. I think both guys, may be dropped. And to be real with you, this fight's so tricky, y'all. I'm not even gonna tell y'all, a unanimous decision. What I'm gonna just say is I'm gonna say Erickson Lubin win. And I'm gonna give it to you from my betting mind, me and my betting mind. If I'm betting on this, I probably would bet for maybe somebody, depending on the odds, I probably would bet maybe for somebody to get a stoppage, because I think both of these guys are capable of stopping the other one. I think Erickson Lubin is a bigger puncher than Sebastian Fundora. But you all know we have that question about Erickson Lubin if he's able to take a punch, this punch. Now he's been at 154. He's took hella punches at 154 for a lot of different people, and only one person has been able to put him out. You know what I mean? I think if Erickson Lubin can avoid getting caught clean, then he wins this fight. Not really sure whether it's by knockout or unanimous decision. If they got the knockout or favored it, take the knockout. If they got it going 12 rounds, favored it, take the 12 rounds. Because in this fight, you never know what the fuck could happen. Anything could happen in this fight when you got two guys who punch like these guys. You know what I mean? I personally got Erickson Lubin winning this joint. You know what I mean? I personally got Erickson Lubin winning this joint. But, you know, this fight could go either way because both guys are capable of stopping the other guy. But that's my fight breakdown and prediction. I think it's going to be a jam-packed fight. I think it's going to be the best fight this weekend. Like I'm telling you, this joint is a doozy. This is the biggest fight of the year. Biggest fight to start the year. This is opening us up for the big fights. We got Errol Spence and Ugas next weekend. This is a perfect starter pack to get us going with, I think, Fundora getting knocked out in 6 to 8 rounds. I mean, either way, man, I don't know, man. It's going to be tight, man. I'm really not sure. This fight could end in knockout. This fight could go 12 rounds. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. Both guys have the ability to put the other one on the floor. I do think that Sebastian Fundora's power is a little overrated, and I do think that Erickson Lubin's power is a little underrated. I think that Erickson Lubin's chin issue is kind of overrated. You know what I mean? But I do see that, you know, he can be hit and he can, you know, be wobbled. But I also seen that he has a good recovery time if you are not able to knock him out. I seen him get hit and I seen him go to sleep. And then I also seen him, you know, get hit, get wobbled, and recover. You know what I mean? Yes, I can, Alex. I will do this. I will predict Sergio Garcia versus Tony Harrison for you. I got you. Great fight. Glad you said that. Sergio Garcia and Tony Harrison. Now, I will say this. If we get the best Tony Harrison, we get the best Sergio Garcia, Tony Harrison wins. But if we get the Tony Harrison that we got last time, who I think was a little off, you know what I mean? And I think Sergio Garcia can win because Sergio Garcia was one of those guys who I thought was a hype job and all that shit, but he fought Fundora, and I thought he beat Fundora. He did damn good. He got a split decision loss over Fundora. So Sergio Garcia is a game fighter. To my Tony Harrison fans, if you see Tony Harrison lose this weekend, you know what I mean? He didn't lose to no trash. But I'm going to go with Tony Harrison because I'm in my mind, Tony Harrison coming in on this game, he coming in 100% healthy. He coming in focused. He not coming in to have a Perella performance. He coming in to show you that Perella performance was a one-off, was a joke. You know what I mean? So I got Tony Harrison in there jump by unanimous decision. You know what I mean? I don't think Sergio Garcia will be able to knock him out. You know what I mean? So I got Tony Harrison, betting on Tony Harrison gas tank that he coming in shape, ready to do his thing. Tony Harrison, one of the best pure boxers to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves to ever grace the sport. Pure boxers. Listen to what I said. One of the best pure boxers to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves.
What's up, T?
What's good, yo?
Not much, man. Listen, man. You see what I said in the chat. Listen, everybody. What y'all been saying? Y'all been talking about Lubin is the chinniest dude around, and don't try to change that is not. Because every time we bring up Lubin, everybody, can this chin hold up? Can this chin hold up? Can this chin hold up? First of all, people, pay attention. Y'all watching the sport. Pay attention a little more. Some of y'all need to start watching the sport when you're not high, okay? Some of y'all need to watch the sport when you're not high. If this guy's chin was so bad, like I wrote in the chat, he should have a couple more knockout defeats on his record because he is at a weight class where guys is hitting. And 164 is probably overall one of the hardest hitting divisions in boxing. So what are we talking about? Y'all talking about this dude like his chin is equivalent to somebody who always getting knocked on a booty. That's not the point. And then you turn around and make it seem like Fundora is this heavy punching ass dude, and he's not. Let's pay attention to what people be knocking out. Y'all keep getting caught up in the moment. When you come talking boxing over here, study everything before you come out and say it. You see what I'm saying? Because it ain't like Fundora been cracking some dude's chin that needed the Da Vinci Code. You know what I mean? He ain't been knocking nobody out. And then you got to look at it. I mean, Lubin got hit by probably the hardest puncher at 154. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, you see a lot of fighters, have a little shaky leg or wobble leg, but it's like everybody just pointing it out with this guy. His chin ain't that bad. If his chin was that bad, that dude should have been sleeping multiple more fights. I'm going off of what y'all think. I'm not making this up. But my opinion is this. I think y'all going too far on the chin, and at the same time, y'all acting like Fundora got all this super extra power. Where Fundora hit him like, are y'all serious? Y'all still going off? Okay, he got hit. I see his leg wobble. That don't mean shit. He never fell again. Never got stopped again. So his chin got to be somewhat good. What y'all talking about? That's not a chinny person. Because a chinny person is a person who most likely is going to get knocked down more so they're getting buzzed or getting hurt. And this is all I'm saying. I'm not trying to make Lubin any more better than what he is. I wouldn't do that. And I'm not going to make Fundora. I'm not going to make Fundora sound anything like he is. So come on, let's keep it real when it comes to this. Fundora hasn't beat up on those top 5 dudes yet. He ain't even fought some of the other dudes that Lubin has fought. You understand what I'm saying? So that don't matter, man. I mean, y'all got to know the difference between a person who is very chinny, person who might not be that hard. You see what I'm saying? But he stop shitting on that man's chin like that, y'all. Y'all need to stop that. I think people just get too caught up in a few things, but we'll see what happens. It should be a good fight. I'm looking for Lubin to win the fight and knockout says something. He just ain't ran across the right one. I mean, he ran across Charlo. And see, I'm glad you just said that.
He's fighting the top guys at 54. Who the right one?
Who the right one?
If he could stand up to, okay, let's say this. Okay, can I ask y'all this? If he go on this fight with Fundora, he don't get stopped and he win, right? Can we put that shit to bed? Because who's the right one? He's like, we just waiting for him to get knocked out again. We gonna keep saying he got a bad chin until he get knocked out again, pretty much, right? So if he can get through this jump, win Fundora, can we put that to bed?
TD. So you asked why you bringing Bud into this, but I will answer your question correctly. First of all, Bud ain't got nothing to do with this conversation. Second of all, nobody never said Bud was chinny. I mean, some people did, but I haven't. So don't address that question to me. But his chin is just like anybody else's chin. It's a possibility it can get cracking. He can get knocked out just like anybody else in the sport of boxing. No one is not, and nobody's excluded. That go for everybody. They go for my favorite, your favorite fighter. That's everybody. Okay, so you're gonna get the biased truth over here. That means
we got a buzz coming up later, by the way. Bud gonna get his something tea today. I got something to talk about. So it's coming.
Yeah, for that until later. Now, I mean, but anybody can be stopped, people. Anybody can get knocked out at any time. That's any weight class. We had seen some of the lighter fisted guys stop a guy. I didn't think that was going to happen, but you never turned around and said, "Well, I think he got a soft chin." You say you think Bud and Lubin has the same type of chin? I have to disagree with you because people say every time Lubin takes a good punch, he shows it in his leg language. I never seen Bud show anything similar to what y'all say that we see in Lubin. So no, and I'm not just going to base that off of what Green Machine did. You see what I'm saying? Because after Green Machine, he made sure he never made sure no one else was allowed to crack him like that. Yeah, I said it. He made sure he never made that mistake again. And as he goes into these next two fights, he definitely can't make that happen. I mean, Thurman still got a fucking chance. I mean, but we won't really know what his chin is really like. But just because somebody gets stopped doesn't mean that they got a bad chin.
Yeah, and he was
So
19. He was 19 the last time he got stopped over about 6-7 years ago. He was about the best fighter in the game. So but I think this question, I think if Erickson Lubin get through this joint, knocked out, if he get a stoppage whatsoever, he done been there with pretty much every top guy at 154, to this date. So I think we have to put that chin shit to bed if he able to get through this joint with Fundora. Now if he get knocked out by Fundora, then well, hey, maybe Fundora just, a heavy puncher too. You know what I mean? Maybe he is chinny type deal. You know what I mean? But I got Erickson Lubin in this fight. I ain't really sure how it's going to end, whether it's going to be a knockout or a UD, because it could go either way, really, for either guy. I think Erickson Lubin more experienced. I think he hit just a little harder. I think he been through just a little more. Don't like how Fundora reacted to Sergio Garcia in the last fight, how he let him, walk him down, make him fight, an inside fight. I think Erickson Lubin, if Erickson Lubin's able to get on the inside of him like Sergio Garcia did, then I think Erickson Lubin go be able to stop, Fundora. But if I had to just take it to the bank, I'd say Erickson Lubin, UD. But both of these guys are capable of stopping the other guy. But I'm finna get out of here, y'all. This is my fight prediction video. Sebastian Fundora, Erickson Lubin. Meet me on the next Southern T. We're gonna do another Southern T about 11:30, 1:30, depends on, how this shit go. I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel about, Bud Crawford and his possible next fight. Possible next fight. I'm gonna let y'all know how I feel about it. I ain't gonna say too much. We hearing Danny, we hearing Keith Thurman. I'm gonna let y'all know how I feel about it personally. But that's all I got. Skinner Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love. Be on the lookout for the next Southern T, because it ain't gonna be it ain't as far away as you think. Appreciate y'all sliding through this jump.